playing around, making sure that everything's posting correctly. Oh, there I am. Hey everyone. I have to legit mute this because my voice, for some reason, just sounds like a chipmunk to me. Like on speed, like a chipmunk on speed. That is what my voice sounds like to me when I hear it. When I speak, I think it sounds more baritone, but apparently that is not the case. So we're just starting out, so let's just give a couple minutes, or 2, or 3, or 9, and we'll just jump in. It depends. Hi Lorraine, nice to see you. I have my glass of clear liquid that may or may not be water. Your guess is as good as mine. Just kidding. It's Keith. Hey Keith. Hi Rusty. Oh, I said Rusty. Diesel's coming. Did I say Rusty? You're gonna have to go sit somewhere. You're not gonna be able to just sit in front of you the whole time. All right, so we're gonna start laying down on our bellies. The cool thing about Facebook Live videos is that eventually, when I'm done the video, it just kind of stays up on Facebook, so I'm kind of really happy with that. That way, if you aren't able to jump in at 9 o'clock in the morning, you're able to come back and check it out later, as some of you have been doing. All right, so let's go ahead and start laying down on our bellies. We start the same way all the time on purpose. So, laying down your belly, one arm on top of the other, forehead resting onto your arms like so. You can move your legs out of the way a little bit. Maybe move your hips from side to side, releasing the lower back. Let your body get nice and heavy to the floor. And this is that experience of yielding. So if you notice that as you're laying on the ground, you're kind of pulling yourself up or ready for the next thing, don't go into that place in your mind if you can help it. Instead, imagine just letting the body soften towards the ground. Just let it relax into the floor, like you're almost becoming a puddle. And then while you're laying here, take some deep breaths. So as you inhale, breathe deep into your belly, feel the belly expand. And then as you exhale, pull the belly button towards your spine, let the body relax. Do that a couple more times, just taking your breath in, nice, slow, deep inhalation. And nice, slow, deep exhalation. If you're happening to be looking up at the video, I am looking up, but you don't have to. That is not important. So letting the breath just move. Belly expands. And belly releases. About 2 or 3 more. Maybe another one. Nice deep breath in. And we're going to take those legs wide apart. Bend both our knees and start to windshield wiper the legs from side to side. Both legs go from one direction across to the other. Letting those hips loosen a little bit as you go. So still reinforcing the feeling of yielding to the earth, yielding to the environment. We have a tendency to fight all the way through life. We're fighting to get to the top. We're fighting to get through our experience. We're fighting through an illness. We're fighting against an unknown enemy or known enemy. But at this point, we're trying to find a way to yield. Yield into the environment, yield into our person, yield into our bodies, yield into our space. And that'll be basically what we're working on today as a whole in our practice, is that opportunity of yield. So coming back through one more time, side to side. Rest of the body's just resting to the floor, legs are moving. And then come back into center, extend your legs. Same thing we always do. You're gonna press your hands. So now we're gonna push, pushing the body up. Bring the big toe mounds together. Knees are gonna be wide, and we're gonna sit back into our child's pose. The knees are wide here on purpose so that your belly doesn't feel like it's being constricted by resting on the thighs. You're gonna let the arms extend out as far as you can, and if you want to, you can try rocking from side to side. Maybe letting the hips just kind of maneuver themselves from one heel to the other. And then the next time that you move to the right, so the next time you move to the right with your hips, let's roll all the way over. Stretch it out, bring the body over to the right. Take some deep breaths. Breathe into the left ribs here. So into the left lung, the left lobe here. We're breathing deep because the right one's not going to be able to move that much. It's kind of cramped over on the side. So breathe deep into that left side, yielding the weight of the body, but breathing deep into the left. And then take it all the way across. Shift that weight over to the left, lift, reach through that right arm. Again, see if you can find that space in the right side, the right lung. Find expansion there. Notice the difference between the two lungs. Stretching out, moving that right hip away from you. Maybe another 3 breaths here, really breathing into that right side. And then taking it back into center. Again, shifting that weight back, stretching. For some of us, we can just bring the head right down to the earth. Boom. But for some of us, that's just not comfortable and we can't keep the hips down. So we'll just bring the head to the arms. Or maybe to a block or whatever you have on hand. Take one more big deep stretch in the lower back. In between the shoulders and the ribs. And then roll forward into hands and knees. So your hands are going to come underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. If this hurts your wrist, roll up your mat. Place your wrist on the mat. Here we go. Inhale, belly draws down, chest lifts, hips lift. And then as you exhale, contracting through the navel center, rolling away. Good. So inhaling, feeling gravity pulling down, opening away from the belly. And then exhaling, pulling the belly button towards the spine, rounding. We'll do that about 3 more times, just 3, before we start moving on with the rest of practice. 1 more, taking it through. Let's bring our spine to a neutral position. Top of the head points forward, tailbone reaches back. We're going to reach this right hand forward so the fingertips rest on the earth. We're going to step back with our left foot so our left toes touch the ground. And then from here, we're going to lift shoulder and hip height. So we're just going to inhale and lift up. And as we exhale, we'll draw everything back down. So inhale, lifting up, engage the core so there's no dipping in the back. Exhale, take it down. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. 1 more. Inhale. And exhale. Beautiful. This time you're going to hold it up. Big, deep breath. Good. Breathe here. Excellent. So we're going to take this right hand, the one that's extended. You're going to place it next to your right knee. Your left leg, the one behind you, is going to kick out to the side in line with your right knee. So it's left foot, right knee, right hand. You're going to push into your right fingertips or into a block and reach that left arm up. So you're just in this side position here. And then we're going to breathe deep again into the left lung. So inhale deep and reach that left arm by your left ear. Breathe into that left lobe, that left lung. Really expand, find space in that left side of your body. And then we're going to roll out of this. You're going to exhale, draw the hip back, take that left hand to the floor, right hand to the floor, lift the left leg, carry it back, and drop the knee. Cat-cow. Big deep breath in. Exhale, round. Couple more like this, just to get the body even. Perfect. This time, let's go ahead and find that neutral position in the core. Top of the head forward, tailbone back, left hand forward, right leg back, toes tuck. And then from this position, we're gonna lift for 4. So we're gonna inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower down. Last one. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower down. This time, lift and hold. Breathe. That sounded weird the way I said that. Breathe. And then when you're ready, that left hand's going to come out to the side. So left hand comes in line with your left knee. You can always place something under your knee. Right leg's going to come out to the side. Foot lines up with knee. Knee lines up with hand. Right arm comes up. Big stretch. Inhale, big deep opening in that lung. And then if you'd like to, reach that arm by the ear. Don't let the hips come back, okay? See if you can stack your body. Right? Stack without overextension. Reach through that right arm. Find that deep breath through that right side of your body. Expand, open, breathe into your right. One more breath. Beautiful. Let's slide out of it. So we're going to take that right hand to the floor, left hand to the floor, lift that right leg, carry it back, and step that right knee down. Cat-cow. Inhale, belly down. Exhale, round your spine. Moving through, taking your time. One more like this. Bring your spine to a neutral position. Again, if your wrists are a little sore, you can roll up your mat, take your wrist right to that mat, and take the fingertips to the floor. You can also use blocks here if you want to. Extend your arms, full extension from your shoulders, tuck your toes, and start to shift your weight back, coming into a down dog. We're going to lift our heels really high here. So my goal for class today is this shirt not flashing every human being in this live. But if it does, censorship. So from here, bend one knee, lower the opposite heel, and then switch. Walk it out. Let the backs of the legs open. And then almost more important at this point than the backs of the legs, what if we can find a little bit more length in the back? Reaching away through the buttocks. Some space between the shoulders, some space between the ears and the shoulders, some space between the armpit and the hip. Beautiful. This time you're going to bend both your knees. We're going to shift to the left. So you're just going to swing your knees to the right and shift your hips to the left. Just stretch back. And then we're going to come right back up again. We're going to take the same thing to the other side. Here we go. Stretch back. And then come right back up again. And then walk it out again. We're going to walk all the way to the front of the mat. So here we go. Tiny baby steps. However far you can get, press into those hands. Once you get to the front of your mat, bend your knees, let your body fold. For those of you who like to use blocks, this is a great time to place them down. I really like blocks. And then press through both your feet. Rise all the way up, reach your arms overhead, take a big stretch. And then exhale, let the arms come down. Again, finding that yielding into the earth, right? So finding your feet pressing and lowering into the floor. Not so much a push, we're not trying to lift off the ground, but instead just resting the body in space onto the earth. And then from here, finding that right arm, inhale, reach up. Here's your reach. Exhale, slide to the left, bend your knees a little bit if you have a tendency to hyperextend here. Inhale, come right back up, and then exhale, lower that right arm. Let's take it to the left. Here we go. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale, lean over. Inhale, take it all the way up. Exhale, take it down. Beautiful. Inhale, both arms up. Big stretch. Grab hold of your right wrist with your left hand. Exhale, and pull to the left just a little bit. So when I say pull, I don't mean yank it out of your socket, right? I just mean a little gentle pressure to help lengthen, once again, that whole side body, breathing into that lung. Inhale back to center. Grab hold of the left. Take it to the right. Exhale and inhale. Breathe into that lung. It's an important aspect here. We got a lot of talking about lungs going on lately. Inhale, come right on up. Exhale, release the arms. Roll the shoulders back. Notice if one side of the body feels different than the other. If it does, no worries. We all feel different sometimes. Inhale, both arms up. Exhale, take it all the way down. So for a lot of people, you can just forward fold, but I want you to go ahead and bend your knees a little bit here, just a smidge, and let your body fold over your bent knees. Why? I'd like you to breathe into the back body a bit more. I want you to not be as focused on your hamstrings. I want you to really feel the breath spreading out the lower back, the upper back. Feel the breath really taking over the back body. Big deep breaths in and out. Maybe there's a sigh that needs to come out. Let's go ahead and step that right leg back. Left knee over your ankle, blocks under your hands or fingertips on the floor. It's up to you. Right hip and left hip are level. Take a big deep breath in. Exhale it all out through the nose. See how that changed your pose. Feel yourself inflate with that breath. And as you exhale, deflate. Feel the body just yielding a bit more into the earth. Maybe there's a little bit more you can put onto the ground here. Let's lower that right knee to the floor. Untuck the toes. See if you can stay here for a moment. Remember, we have this inclination to do, but we're kind of being forced to take some time to kind of relax, to kind of chill out a little bit. Maybe you'd like to rock a little here. Who are we to fight the tides of nature, right? If the earth tells us that we need to chill, we should probably work with that. All right, back into center, big deep breath in. Exhale. Tuck your back toes, inhale, lift the back knee. Find that nice strong lunge. And then press down through this left foot. We're gonna carry the right foot forward. So stretching that foot forward, coming into that forward fold, little bend in the knees. And then let's go ahead and find it on the left. So the left leg's going to come back, big stretch back. Left leg pushing back, right knee over your ankle. Just finding some kind of rhythm to this breath, finding some kind of balance. See if you're already kind of hyper on it, right? Are you already like, it's time to go, Nicole? Instead, try to let your body settle. Settle here first. Find your breath. Yield weight towards the earth. And then from here, let's go ahead and give our left knee to the floor. Untap the toes. See if you have to come up first, see how that feels. Maybe there's a little rocking sensation. What's your body need right now? What's going on inside you? Are you tired? Are you scared? Are you energized? Are you freaking out? Where are you? What are you learning about this body? What are you learning about yourself during this time? Big deep breath in. Full deep breath out. Tuck your back toes. Lift your back knee. Find that big deep stretch. Push through that right foot and carry that left foot in. Take a nice forward fold here. See what's happening. Hey man, what's going on? Press through those feet. Come all the way up. Big stretch to the sky. Let's see if we can lift the center of the chest here. So you can bend your knees. Lift the center of your chest. And then exhale, take it all the way back down again. Big stretch in the back of the body again. Big breath into the back of the body as well. Inhale again, right leg's gonna make its way to the back of the mat. Here we go, back into that high lunge. I'm such a fan of lunges, especially when we step back. It seems like a lot of us are always stepping forward, and it's kind of nice to step back and see what's happening. Right hand's gonna stay on that block or on the floor. God bless you, whatever you wanna do. Left hand's gonna come to the left thigh. We're gonna rotate the belly, roll the shoulder blades back, and then lift that left arm straight up to the sky. Push back through that right heel. Maybe the knee has to be on the ground today. Maybe you're tired. That's okay. That's okay. Left hand's coming all the way down. Remember, it's just a yielding into the Friday here. We're not trying to do anything crazy. And then from here, we're going to spin that right heel to the floor. And we're going to take our block under our left hand if we're using it, and we might place it to the higher height. If we're not using it, no big deal. You can just place your left hand behind your knee, and let's see what happens. I am a huge fan of props. I use them in my own practice. I use them when I teach. So then from here, that right arm's going to come all the way up. Still working on not flashing, you guys. I really am, I promise. Let's take one more breath. Oh, that big stretch from the pinky toe. Oh, that space in that right side, though. We need it. Breathe into it. Find your space. And then lower that right hand right back down to the block. Lift your back heel. Take those blocks low if you're using them. If you want to, you can continue using those blocks as you step back into a plank. And we'll do this first one with that nice relaxed movement. Ready? So the knees come down. And then we're going to lower the chest, maybe just above the blocks, shifting, lowering, wherever we can go is fine. And then we're going to slide that chest forward, lowering the pelvis. And then press into the blocks if we want to. We'll go back into child's pose, or we'll go into a down dog. How are you feeling? How you doing? Shifting those hips up and back. Shaking out your head. Shaking out your butt. Right? You're in down dog. You can wiggle your butt here. Don't take things so seriously. You're in your own home. You're probably doing this in your PJs. Some of you are probably not wearing anything at all. I respect that. One more breath. Perfect. So we're going to find a way to get this right foot forward. I'm not sure how you feel like doing it. You might take a couple steps. You might get halfway and be like, you know what? No, thank you. And carry. Or you might be one of those fancy flourishes and drop forward. Whatever it is you want to do, it's your practice. You do you. Find that nice high lunge. Strong breath. Right knee's coming forward, left heel's pushing back. Maybe that left hand can stay on the floor or onto a block, but then we're going to turn. We're going to turn the right arm to the sky. If you notice, my left heel moved away when I did that. I'm going to write that right away. So I'm going to place that left heel so it points up. Push it back. Draw my right knee forward. Think happy little positive twisty thoughts. One more breath. And then I'm going to take that right hand down. Remember, you have the option. You can build this if you want to. Lower your left heel to the floor. And then let's go ahead and bring that left arm straight up to the sky. Right? Straight on up. Straight to that ceiling. Oh, that left side of the body needs the breath though, doesn't it? The right side is hogging all that space. We need it. Those lungs, they need to breathe. One more breath. Pull that right knee back for me. Lower that left hand down to the block. Lift your back heel. Let's take this block to the lowest height again. For those of you who aren't using blocks, you can move it out of the way now. I'm going to press those hands into the earth. Step back. Remember, you can lower those knees if you want to, but it's your choice on how you vinyasa for you. So you can shift, lower, lift, open that chest, and then down dog again. Here we go. We do down dog for a while here. We always hold down dogs a little bit for those of you who've never done a class with me. Mostly because I just find it to be a really relaxing posture. But if you don't like down dog, if you're going, you know what, this is awful and I hate you, Nicole. Fair. Go ahead and take child's pose. One more breath. Don't push. Think you hold those feet down. Here we go, last one. How are you going to get your left foot forward? Maybe the leg is going to lift up like a flourish and you're going to step it forward. Maybe you're going to take a couple steps. Maybe you're going to walk all the way forward and step back. Up to you. Find your lunge. Pull the belly button to the spine. And then let's go ahead and spin that right heel to the earth. So now we have left heel lines up with the right and step again. We're going to come all the way up into warrior two. So left knee over the ankle. Arms come out to the side. Thighs almost parallel with the floor if you can manage it, and if not, don't worry about it. Shoulder blades draw down on your back, relax your toes. We have a tendency to want to grip the floor with our feet here. It does not help us. Last couple breaths here. Up, up, up. And then let's go ahead and take it back. So the right hand's going to come back, left arm's going to come up. And then we'll take it right back into warrior two. So that's our movement. Inhale, left arm comes up, right arm comes back. Exhale, back into warrior two. Two more. Maybe a little deeper this time. Inhale, don't move that left knee. Exhale. Maybe a little deeper still. Inhale, ooh, big breath, hold into that left side. Breathe into that lung. We need those lungs to know we're paying attention. And then carry it all the way back and down. Left hand, right hand, lift your back heel. Step back into plank. And then lower whatever way you can. Lift. Big stretch. Down dog. Awesome. Wiggle those hips if you want to. We're taking it to the right. Right leg comes up. And we're going to step that right foot forward. All right, so we find that nice strong lunge. And then we're going to go ahead and lower that left heel to the floor. Right heel lines up with the left instep. Right knee goes over that ankle. Buttocks drop low. Thigh becomes a parallel structure. And up we go. So here we are, warrior two again. Right knee over that ankle. Thigh nice and strong. It's a long hold. Maybe it's not the longest hold you've ever done, but it is a hold. Staying with the breath. So remember, you have lungs here that you're breathing into evenly right here, right? Finding space. Let's take it back. Ready? Left hand back. That's one. Exhale. Two, maybe a little deeper. Move that right knee away. Exhale. Three. Exhale. Four, take it back wherever you need to go, but bend that right knee and breathe into that right rib. Breathe here. Breathe here. Breathe here. Keep it up though, keep breathing. Find that lung, bend that right knee, and take it down. Right, left, lift your back heel, step back. Find your plank. Nice slow inhales and exhales. Into those lungs, back, front, sides. Left knee's gonna drop to the floor. We've been here before, it just looks a little different. You're gonna kickstand that left leg out to the side. We're gonna drop that right heel to the ground. Left hand lines up with the left knee again. And we're gonna come right back into that side stretch. Right toes face forward. Again, focusing on that side breath, right? Focusing here for a moment. Sweeping that right arm by your right ear. We're going to open this up to stargazer pose. So this right arm is going to reach behind us. We're going to turn the chest towards the ceiling, right? Open everything up. Going to your level of comfortability here, right? Your level is more important than what you see. Take it right back up. Take that right hand to the earth. Lift the back heel. Swivel that left foot on. Step back into your plank. Remember, if you don't like planks, don't do them. You can always work with those knees down. Right? It could be here. Nobody has to be a hero today. Lower that right knee to the floor. Kickstand. Right foot comes out. Left foot comes down. It lines up with our right knee. It's like we're in a nice little package. Like we've already created the side package. Left arm comes up. Right, here we are. We've been here before. Left arm by our left ear. Oh, it feels good. Stretch out that side. Don't move your hips back though, okay? Push those hips forward a little bit. Nice to even have a little bit of space here, maybe a block. I'm going to use a block just because this side seems to be short for me. And then we're going to reach that left arm back wherever we can go. Finding that space. Finding that left leg being long. Breathing into the whole front body here as we rotate that chest open. You're going to let the head hang too. One more breath, big stretch. And exhale, carry it through. Beautiful. Go ahead and take your feet back to that plank. So right foot swivels back in, plank it is. And then we're gonna lower. So however you wanna lower is fine. Finding that nice big stretch in the front of the body. And then down dog. Here we go again. Breathe in here. Take your time. Slow, deep inhales and exhales. Relax your shoulders a bit more here. We have a tendency to really squeeze those shoulders into our ears or draw them too far out or out of direction. You're looking for that nice shoulder girdle, nice strong stance here. Last breath. Looking for the left. So however you want to get there, with a flourish, with a jump, with a hop, with a split, with a handstand, doesn't bother me. Whatever way you want to get there. Come into your lunge. Spin your right heel down to the ground. Come all the way up into warrior two. This time you might want to have that block at a high level behind your ankle. Straighten your left leg. Let's take it into Trikonasana or triangle posture. So for those of you who have a tendency to do exactly like I do, which is look like a newborn baby giraffe, and you hyperextend and you're like, I could be here all day. This is not super great for your knee. So take a slight bend in your knee. Use the muscle of your legs, not just the stacking or pushing back of your joints. Okay, here we go. Reach. Left hand comes down to the floor, to a block, wherever it needs to go. Right hand comes to your right hip. Roll your hip back. Take your hand to your ribs. Roll your ribs back. Take your arm all the way up. Strong outside stretch of that right leg. Yeah? So you might use a block at whatever height you want, but you don't want to collapse your body. Right? What if you're here? Still means you can breathe here, right? You can still find breath. And then maybe you can get a little bit more space under your left side. So being where you need to be. Being who you need to be. Staying with it though. Keep breathing. Excellent. Last one. Alrighty. So we're going to go ahead and keep this left leg long. It's going to be a little weird transition. That right hand's going to come to your right hip. We're going to start to look down at that left leg. Maybe placing the left hand on the floor, we're going to pivot the right heel up and get both legs nice and straight. For those of you who are like, yeah, Nicole, my hamstrings are not having that, because maybe you, like me, also did Kristen's class before this and are like, my hamstrings are tight. Use blocks, use a chair, use a wandering animal that's walking by. One more breath. Perfect. Bend your left knee. Press towards the floor with your hands. Carry this very, very heavy right leg forward. Boom. Come all the way up to standing. Big stretch to the sky. Open the breath in the front of the body and the back of the body. Exhale, take it all the way down. This time come up halfway before we step back. Exhale, take it all the way down. This left leg's gonna come back this time, okay? So left leg's gonna come back. We're going to spin the heel to the floor. Here we are, right heel lines up with the left instep if you can manage it. Block at the highest height if you need it. Come into warrior two first. So we know what it's like to bend the knee. Then we can straighten the leg. We aren't going to hyperextend. We're not bowing here. We're engaging. Thigh is strong here. Not even gripping with our toes. And then from here, slide it forward or slide it out. I like to think of a typewriter, if you remember typewriters. Right hand comes down to the block or the floor. Left hand comes to the front of the left hip so you can roll the hip back. Left hand comes to the front of the left rib, so you can maybe rotate a bit more into the upper body. And then that left arm comes up. Not because you're just hanging here. You're not. You're lengthening out. You're actually reaching your head away, reaching your tail away, engaging your thigh here so that maybe you don't even need this block, right? You're still holding it with the muscular structure of your body, right? Moving that right hip out from underneath of you. Finding a way to hold this posture that doesn't cramp your right ribs. Holding on to it though, or passing through it, however you like to think about your yoga practice. Try not to turn your chest to the floor. We're gonna get there, I promise. Here we go, we're rotating out. You ready? So turning to look down, left hand comes to the floor, left heel lifts, big stretch, big stretch. Move that right hip back a little bit more, big stretch. One more breath. Beautiful. Bend your right knee. Let's step it back again to plank. Lower your knees to the floor. Roll your hips back. Take a child's pose. Rotate your wrist. Wiggle your fingers. Move your hips from side to side. Whatever you need. Just breathe though, okay? One more time, just rocking out from side to side. Then we're going to come all the way back into hands and knees. Excellent. Let's lift up through that right arm, just finding wherever it goes. Big stretch to sky. Now we're just going to take that right hand down. We're going to do the same thing to the left. Left hand comes up. And then take that left hand down. Walk your hands forward a little bit more. We're going to keep the hips up, but keep the arms forward. And we're going to start to lower the chest down. So maybe we start at just the elbows and we push our hips back and we see how that feels. Maybe we keep lowering down to the chest. Coming into that puppy pose. Try and just give yourself a big deep breath. Last one. And then we're going to work ourselves back out. Nice. Tuck your toes. Last down dog like this. And this time we're going to walk our hands back towards our feet. And then once we're down by your feet, just take a nice forward fold. Press through both of your feet, come all the way up to standing. And then from here, let's go into one balance, just a little one. And I like the idea of working with our balance in a way that helps us also find our connection to the earth, which balancing is perfect for. So step that left foot forward and come onto the right toes. Right, so now we've already, every time we walk, we find balance. So we are already finding balance while we step to this left foot. And then from here, bend your right knee, let the right foot just kind of hang out like a flamingo. So then from this position, looking somewhere in front of you that's not going to move, right? So if you're staring at your dog for balance, it's not going to work because he will eventually move. So then from here, you can stay just like this, maybe working on your balance like this, or even like this. Or you can try grabbing your right ankle or right foot. So just kind of lifting and pulling it in. I always think about this when I see images for runners to stretch after their runs. It always seems like there's a woman in very little clothes going like this. It's a good stretch for the quadricep. So from here, the hips are going to stay facing forward. We're going to reach that left arm up by our ear. Pull the lower belly in. And there's a bowing that happens here. As we press the foot towards the hand towards the foot, you might just come forward a little bit. You might not be here at all. You might be like, no, Nicole, I'm not doing this today. You can also place your left hand on the wall in front of you, right? And we want to breathe into our ribs, into the front of the body. And then come right back out. And release. All right, walk back. Saunter your way back. Wiggle your hips. See what happens in your left side. See if you crunched your left hip to lift your right leg. All learning experience, right? It's not like we have to be perfect. It's all a learning experience. So we have stepped onto the right foot. We have found our balance forward. And then we'll go ahead and stack our body and bend our left knee. Here, 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 wherever you need. Maybe we can lift up a little higher, grab hold of that ankle or foot. Doesn't matter which. Left knee points down, chest face forward, core is engaged. We're lifting through our pelvic floor. If that's in your practice, this is the time, folks. This is the time. Right arm comes up. Shifting wherever it is we can go. Looking for space here, even though we're stretching a bit more there. Taking it down wherever we want. Breathing. Trying to keep those hips facing down. Trying to get that chest open. Trying to get that side body long. One more. And out we go. Excellent. Left foot comes to the floor. Shake it out. Wiggle it out. Find balance on both feet. Thank goodness. Big deep breaths. How quickly we forget to breathe when we're only on one foot. Let's take a forward fold. And let's make our way onto the floor. So, whatever way you like to get into the floor. Look, Mom, no hands. Once you're here, I guess I can turn to face you now. Which is weird because I'm also facing my laptop, which is like 3 minutes behind. So shoulder blades back and down, top of the head comes up. Breath into both sides of the body. Maybe we sit on a blanket here and make some big circles. So from here, we're going to inhale, or let's do it this way. Exhale, round your spine, roll to the left. Inhale, come across. Exhale, round back. So exhaling on the way back. Inhaling on the way around. Exhaling. And inhaling. What if this was it? What if I said all you had to do was do this posture with focus and joy and basically just some grace, and this would be it. Yeah, enlightenment within a lifetime. Wouldn't that be nice? Well, the truth is, enlightenment comes not just because you can do a crazy pose or hold a crazy posture. It's always of training your body and your mind, right? So if this was all you did, but you did it with all your heart, all your soul, all your prayer, all your grace, if you aligned everything with this vortex movement, rotate to the other side, inhale in this way, then maybe this would be your form of nirvana. Maybe you would find enlightenment just by rocking around in a circle. How epic would that be? Maybe you could find enlightenment just by doing your dishes, with your mind fully processing just your dishes. One more. Excellent. So you're sitting in your comfortable position, right? You shouldn't feel any pain in your knees. It's not important to put yourself through pain in yoga. You put yourself through so much so often. Don't keep pushing yourself through that. So the right hand's going to walk out. We're working into that side body still. So I'd like you to find a way to root this left buttock to the floor. Root your left hip to the ground. And then just reach that left arm up. So the knees are both bent here, but some people need to do this with their legs straight, and that's okay too, right? And some people need to sit in a chair to do this, which is totally possible. I do need to do a chair yoga class. And then from here, stretch your arm by your ear. Notice how my shoulder wanted to roll in here. I'm going to try and keep open in my space. Now, open in my space. This is my body. It's my space. I can stay open in my space. Sounds like I'm trying to get you to go and join a 90s social networking company. And then come all the way back up. Let's take it to the other side. Same thing. So you're sliding it out, right? Bringing the hip down, bringing the body open. Stretching here first, finding space, and then just reaching. Drawing down through that glute, looking for breath, looking for space in the side body. Try not to over rock that shoulder. You can only control your space, friend. Right? You can only control what's going on here. The rest of the world's just going to happen. All the way back up. Bring those arms up again, big stretch to the sky. Exhale, take it forward now. Okay, maybe just here. No big deal. Maybe it's the time. The time might be to have a block. Maybe you're here. Maybe not. Maybe you're here. Wherever you are is fine, right? Wherever you want to be is fine. Whatever works for this body, what works for your space. I'm obsessed with him. Obsessed with my dog. All right, slide it open. Come to seated. For those of you who are just resting there, like it was a nap time session, totally cool. All right, so finding that cross in your legs. Remember, one leg was in front of the other. So maybe you'd like to try and change your cross. And if you're not crossing your leg, no big deal. So I have an injury in this knee. So to keep my knee from hurting, I have to put something under it. Maybe a blanket, maybe a block. I have a block nearby, so I can do it here. All right, so then from this position, we're going to do a twist. You do not have to put something under your knee. This is just what I have to do. So I'm going to take the same hand as my knee. So in this case, I believe this is your left. Left hand on your left knee. Your right hand's going to come behind you. And we're going to just slowly rotate. I know most of us are already in the twist, right? We're already like in. Instead, I want you to rotate from center forward out. Okay, center out. So starting at the base, then the belly, then the ribs, then the chest, and then the head. So you're opening up space. A lot of times we cross the arm and torque a little bit more, but I'd like you to keep your arm open here. I would like you to have a little bit more accessibility to the space in the front of your body. For those of you who like to offer mudras into your practice, this is a beautiful space to have one. If you're like, mudra, what's a mudra? Don't worry about it. Not a big deal. Today is not the day, or maybe it is, but it's not with me at this moment to go over mudra work. Maybe in the future. Don't round. I know it's hard. I know it's hard because the weight of the world is on your shoulders and on your heart, and you just want to drop down underneath of it. But try to stay tall. Try to reach through. Grow out of your spine. Then unwind. Try it on the other side. So here we go. Right hand to the right knee, left hand behind you. Tall, bright personality, tall, bright persona, tall, bright being. And then from here, the belly, the ribs, the chest, the shoulders, the head, everything just kind of falls in line. A tall being sitting in a twisted position. That's all it is. Just breathe. Settle the breath. Be open. And unwind nice and slow again. And move my block out of the way. Let's go ahead and lay down onto our backs. So coming down onto your back in whatever way works best for you. Having your block nearby. Placing that block between your knees. If you're not using a block, it is okay. Don't use a block. All I'd like to see is that your knees don't splay. Oftentimes we have people with their feet really wide and their knees out to the side, kind of doing one of these numbers, which, I mean, work in some aspects of something, I'm sure, but for me, I'd like you to keep everything kind of contained, right? In your space. Walk your heels in a little bit closer to the glutes, squeeze the block, place the elbows on the floor. We've done this before, fingertips facing the ceiling. You are a robot or a Barbie or a Ken doll. You're gonna press down through those feet and let the hips lift, and we're gonna come up as high as you feel confident being for right now. And then press those elbows into the ground and roll those shoulder blades under you a little bit more. Press to the base of the big toe all the way out through the pinky toe. Find that big stretch from the ribs to the pelvis. Look for space. Look for that opening. Breathe deep, 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 deep into that chest. 2 breaths. Last one. Lower it down, slow, steady, on your way. Untuck your shoulders. Take that block from between your knees. And then this can be done without a block or with a block. So if you have a block, cool. If you don't worry about it. You're gonna lift your hips again, and we're gonna slide the block underneath of our tail. So we're not into our back, we're under our tail. So if you don't have a block, that's okay. You can also put a blanket underneath of you. You could put a stack of books underneath of you. If you're not doing it right now, it's okay. Just put your hips on the floor. We'll get there. So from here, we're going to lift the legs. So one knee in, then the other. And we're going to send those legs straight up to the sky. We're going to try to keep those feet above our hips. So if you don't have a block, it looks the same. It looks like this, all right? Block just kind of gives you a little extra oomph, a little extra something, something, right? So then looking at our feet, making sure those ankles are over our hips as best as we can, or not, right? If they're too far away, you're going to know because your lower back's going to be doing a lot of this work, and your belly. All right, so then from here, staring at the feet, we're going to go ahead and walk them out into the sky. So my regular students know that I'm slightly obsessed with the idea that I can think of moving my feet without thinking of moving my feet, and my feet will still move. So if that makes any sense. I just love that it goes from here to there and just happens like magic. If there's any question at all that we are magical, just start wiggling your feet without actually having to say to yourself, I need to wiggle my feet. And as my friend Ginger says, as Mama Bear always says, be grateful for your feet. Thank you, feet. All right, make circles. Right on. And circles on the other way. Yeah, still want blood flow. We still want stuff happening here in those legs. We don't want to just kind of hang out for a moment. All right, now legs are up, hips are elevated, or they're not. No big deal. Hang out here for a second. We're going to take this left leg down just a little bit. It's just a smidge. Right? Engaged, and then draw it back up. So the core's going to stay engaged. You don't have to drop that leg very low. And then bring it right back up. Do that 2 more times. If it hurts your back, don't do it. If being on the block causes you pain when you do this, come off the block, right? 1 more time. Awesome. And then from here, bend both your knees. Turn the feet towards each other and the knees out. See if you can grab your ankles here. I like to call this the Spider-Man pose. Then slide your hands to the inner thighs, extend your legs out to the side, flex your feet, push your heels away, turn the toes towards you or towards the floor. We're going to grab the bottoms of the thigh, roll them towards us a little bit, finding that big deep stretch here in the center of the legs. One more breath. You can do this against the wall too, a wall being right here. Feels really good. Bend your knees. Take the soles of your feet together again, back into that little Spider-Man. And then pull your knees together. Send your legs straight up. Last time, maybe a flex and a point, flex and a point. And then bend both your knees. Pull the belly button to the spine to protect yourself, maybe one leg and then the other, or both. Press your feet into the floor. Move your block if it's under you. Lower your hips down. Take your feet about mat distance apart and windshield wiper your legs from side to side. Take your time. It's nice to release anything going on in that lower back. Now we're going back into our yielding work, back into just letting the body rest into the floor, letting your space move into the space around you. And from here, walking your feet about hip distance apart. And we're going to move this left knee towards us, so just pulling it in. You can grab under your thigh if you want, and just kind of hang out here. Then we're going to extend that right leg, just sliding it out. And just holding in Apanasana, where that wind relieving pose. Then we'll take that right hand to the outside of the left thigh. And you've done this one before, I'm sure. Even if you've never done yoga a day in your life, you're going to scooch that right hip under you a little bit and twist. Now, I like to place a block underneath my left knee just because I have a pelvis that wants me to. But if you're into putting your knee right on the ground, go for it. See if you can keep your left shoulder down. And then this is the fun part. I want you to bend your left elbow and place your left hand onto your left ribs. So we'll go into some fancy breathwork thing here. So as you inhale, I want you to breathe deep into your left hand and feel the ribs expand. And then as you exhale, see if the body wants to twist a little more. Inhaling, feel the left ribs expand. Exhale. See if the body wants to twist a little more. Breathing into that left rib cage, feeling that lung expand. And exhale. Just a couple more breaths, just like that. Let's release that left hand. Bring that arm out. And then very slowly unwind our twist. Take your time. Try not to flop. Although I'm cool with flopping if you need to. Settle your hips. Extend your left leg and your right leg. Bring your right arm out. All right, so tell me, well, don't tell me, tell yourself, talk to yourself out loud if you want. Is there a difference between the left side and the right side? If you put your hands on your ribs, can you feel almost a fluffier left lung? That seems like an odd thing to call it, but almost like you've created some more buoyancy, some more opening on that left side of the body, and the right side of the body still feels like it's kind of cemented to the floor, kind of dropped in. You're such magical creatures, guys. Such magical creatures. We can do so much. Bend your knees. Reset. Pull that right knee into your chest. And go ahead and extend the left leg. Apanasana. Take a couple breaths here. All right. Let's try the twist on the other side, okay? So left hand to the outside of your right knee. You're going to go ahead and twist over to the left. If you want to, shift under or shift your left hip under a little bit. You can place something onto your right knee. I'd love for your right shoulder to stay down here if you could. Maybe you'll notice that one side of your body needs a little bit more help than the other. That's usually what happens on my right side. All right, right elbow bends, right hand comes to the right ribs, right? So you're just letting the hand rest there. You can put a blanket under your elbow if it's hard to keep your right hand on your ribs. All right, big deep breath in. Feel the ribs expand. Exhale, soften, relax. What's happening with your glutes? Are you tightening? Can you give yourself up to this twist? Can you give yourself some time to soften your right rib cage? To really focus your breath into the right lung. Breathe deeply and slowly and fully into your right ribs, into your right lung. Let's take 1 or 2 more breaths here. Really focus on that breath though. And then let's really slowly come out. So just pulling yourself out of that posture. Bending your knees, moving the hips to center. And then once again, extending your legs, letting your arms rest down by your sides. Readjusting your hips. How's that right side feel? What's going on? Yeah, maybe a little more even. Maybe it feels like we're a little fluffier, a little more like clouds here. Our lungs are a little bit more expansive. All right, so we're going to pull the knees to the chest just to breathe into that lower back for a moment. So pull the knees in, and this is our last thing to set before corpse pose and a little bit of breath work at the end. So you can rock from side to side. Let that lower back soften. And then just take one more hug for your body. And for those of you who like to do an extra inversion or an extra posture or two, if you need something real special, go ahead and do it. But if not, don't worry about it, because we've done a lot. You don't have to keep adding on, or maybe you do. It's your practice. Let your legs rest onto the floor. Readjust your hips. For those of you who like a really snuggly corpse pose, put a blanket over you, put a blanket under your head, let your arms rest down by the sides, palms facing up. Go ahead and close your eyes. Don't worry about what's going on the screen. I'm going to come to a seated position just so you know. Not because you should, but because it's really hard for me to do this last part laying down. I'll fall asleep. So, as you're laying on the floor with your eyes closed and your body resting, go ahead and take note of the sounds you hear. Maybe you hear the sound of my voice. Maybe that's the thing that you hear best right now. Expand your perception outwards a little bit more. Maybe you can hear something that's going on outside of the building you're in. Can you hear birds? Can you hear children playing? Maybe you hear cars. Maybe you hear dogs. And then go ahead and bring your perception inward a little bit more. Listen for the sounds within the room or in the building. Maybe the house is settling. Maybe there's an animal wandering around in your house. Maybe a spouse or a child. Maybe a clock is ticking. And then bring your attention, your awareness inwards, in within your body. Listen to the sound of your heartbeat and your breath. What do you hear? And finally, see if you can focus on the rise and fall of your belly, your inhale and your exhale. And then when you're ready, start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Pull your knees towards your chest, or stay in your Shavasana for as long as you like, actually. You don't have to come out. Roll your right side, press your left hand on the floor, and then reach up into a seated position. I always make these Shavasanas on Yoga Lives, or on Facebook Live a little shorter, just because I lose a bunch of you doing that. And then from here, let your hands rest onto your lap. And we'll just do some deep breath into the body just to once again recalibrate, reset, reaffirm our love and our affection for our own respiratory system. Yoga in the time of Corona. We need to be very aware of what is going on deep within. So as you inhale, you might feel your belly rise. Exhale, you'll feel your belly pull back. Inhale, you might feel your ribs expand and open like bucket handles. Exhale, the ribs come down and together. Inhale, you might feel the chest rise. Exhale, you might feel the chest fall. But then we can add all of these together. Inhaling, abdomen, ribs, and chest. Exhaling, chest, ribs, abdomen. Imagine filling up a container from bottom to top, abdomen, ribs, chest. Exhaling, chest, ribs, abdomen. Almost about 2 more times, okay? Last one. bowing the head. If it is in your belief system and practice, then namaste. If not, the light within me sees, respects, and loves the light within you. And if that doesn't work for you, then I hope that you have a beautiful Friday. As far as I know, that's what day it is. Take care. I shall be back again doing another live, I think on Monday. In the meantime, I will be posting to YouTube as well. That way we have as much content as we can. All right. Take care. My love to you all.